Imagine a time long past, a time when humanity was young. The earth itself was still settling after a great flood. A new world stretched out before a handful of survivors. They were a single family, a single tribe, a single people. They all looked to the sky with the same eyes. They all dreamed under the same moon. And when they spoke with one voice. Every word was understood, every thought was shared. There was no need for interpreters, no struggle to find the right expression. They were united by a common tongue, a single, universal language that bound them together as one. This was not a world of nations or borders. It was a world of shared understanding. A laugh in one corner of their settlement echoed with the same meaning in another. A cry of warning needed no translation. It was a simple, elegant form of existence. This unity was their greatest strength. It allowed them to cooperate, to plan, and to build a new life from the scratch left by the flood. Their shared language was the invisible thread that wove their society into a single, strong tapestry. Their journey began as they moved eastward. They were nomads in a new world, searching for a place to call home, a place to put down roots and build something that would last. They traveled across plains and over hills, their single language echoing in the empty lands. Finally, they found it. A flat, fertile plain in a land called Shinar. Today we know this area as Mesopotamia. The soil was rich, perfect for farming. The clay was plentiful, perfect for building. It was a place where a great civilization could rise. Here, they decided to stop their wandering. This would be their home. They learned to bake bricks from the clay of the earth. They discovered how to use bitumen, a natural tar, as mortar. With their shared language, they could coordinate their efforts with perfect efficiency. Their settlement grew quickly, spreading across the plain. As their city grew, so did their confidence. As their city flourished, a new idea began to form. It started as a whisper, a thought shared amongst the leaders. What was to stop them from reaching even higher? This whisper grew into a murmur that spread through the population. A collective ambition began to take hold. They said to each other, "Come, let us build ourselves a city and a tower with its top in the heavens." It was a statement, a declaration of their own power and ingenuity, a monument to their greatness that would pierce the clouds and touch the realm of the divine. First, they wanted to make a name for themselves, and second, they feared being scattered. "Lest we be dispersed over the face of the whole earth," they said. The tower was meant to be an anchor, a focal point to hold humanity together. The idea for the tower was more than just a plan. It was a fire that caught in the heart of every single person. They had tamed the land. Now they looked to the sky. This was humanity's first great project, a singular goal that focused the minds and hands of an entire civilization. There were no dissenting voices, no arguments or debates. One person's passion became everyone's passion. The dream needed a plan, a blueprint for this impossible structure. It would rise in tiers, each level smaller than the one below, creating a great ziggurat that spiraled towards the sky. Kilns would burn day and night, turning clay into millions of hardened bricks. With the blueprint complete, the vision became tangible, a promise that they were masters of their own fate. The first day of construction dawned. The first brick was laid. Thousands of hands set to work in perfect unison, like a single giant organism moving with one purpose. The work was hard. The sun was relentless. Slowly, miraculously, the tower rose from the flat plain. The scrape of the trowel, the thud of bricks being laid. A symphony of bricks and mortar, a constant hum of united effort. The tower grew higher. Ambition, once a bright and shining star guiding them, started to cast a long shadow. It was in the way the foremen spoke, their voices sharper, more demanding. It became a thunderous, percussive beat, driving them forward without pause. The people of Shinar began to serve the tower, rather than the tower serving them. As the structure climbed, a new kind of society formed on its spiraling ramps. A hierarchy began to emerge, a social ladder mirroring the tower itself. A brick passed from hand to hand from the bottom to the top, but the nature of that connection was changing. They still spoke the same words, but the words started to mean slightly different things depending on where you stood. They were so focused on the singular goal of reaching the heavens that they failed to notice the subtle fracturing of their perfect oneness. the tower reached an unimaginable height. On clear days, the workers at the summit could look down and see the whole world spread out before them. The world looked small from up there, manageable and beneath them. From the top of the tower, the individual people below were invisible. All they could see was the grand pattern, the perfect machine of their own making. But now, in their success, they were becoming a people divided by height and perspective. From a realm beyond the clouds, the universe observed. A divine presence looked down upon the plain of Shinar, and it saw the tower, a jagged scar of human pride clawing its way into the sacred sky. It saw that their path did not lead to glory, but to self-destruction. Today, a tower to the heavens. Tomorrow, a challenge to the stars themselves. A decision was made. The intervention had to be more subtle, more profound. Behold, the people are one, and they have all one language, and this they begin to do. And now, nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. The change did not come with a thunderclap. It began as a strange feeling in the minds of the workers. The phenomenon rippled through the site like an invisible wave. The invisible thread that bound them all together was snapping. The shared mind of humanity was being partitioned. Imagine the terror of that moment. To lose the ability to communicate with those you have known your entire life. The work on the tower ground to an immediate chaotic halt. The perfect, efficient machine of the construction site seized up, its gears grinding against each other in a cacophony of miscommunication. Panic spread down the spiraling ramps and into the city below. Small pockets of new understanding began to form amidst the chaos. The great we of humanity was gone. In its place were the beginnings of us and them. The dream of the tower was dead. It stood unfinished, a tombstone for their unity. The winds whipped around its silent, empty ramps. The project that had consumed their lives for generations was abandoned. The city, once their anchor, had become a prison of confusion and mistrust. The very thing they had built the tower to prevent was now their only option. They had to scatter. So it was that the Lord scattered them from there over the face of the whole earth. The great migration began. They journeyed east and west, north and south, carrying with them the fragmented memories of a time when all of humanity was one. The city they left behind was named Babel. It became a place of legend, a ghost city haunted by the memory of a fallen dream. As the scattered tribes settled in new lands, something remarkable began to happen. A language is more than just words. It shapes how people think. Each tongue painted a different picture of reality. From these new languages, new traditions were born. The single, monolithic culture of Shinar was replaced by a vibrant mosaic of human expression. Of course, this birth of cultures also created new divisions. The us and them mentality that began in the chaos of Babel solidified. The aftermath of Babel fundamentally remade the world. The human population now spread across the continents. The face of the earth itself was changed by this dispersion. The grand, uniform design of Babel was replaced by 1,000 different styles of human creation. This new world was far more resilient. The scattering acted as a safeguard, ensuring the survival of the human species. It was a transformation from a single arrogant stalk into a vast, sprawling forest. The story of the tower did not crumble. It became a foundational myth, a cautionary tale that echoed in cultures across the world. The legacy of Babel is, in many ways, the world we live in today. We are the descendants of those scattered peoples. This legacy is a double-edged sword. Our diversity is our greatest treasure. Yet these same differences have been the cause of endless conflict. The story reminds us that we must constantly work to bridge the divides, to find unity not in uniformity, but in mutual respect and understanding. The story of the Tower of Babel is more than just an ancient myth. It is a timeless narrative that speaks directly to the core of the human condition. A central message: beware the intoxicating poison of hubris. Their ambition to reach the heavens tried to erase the line between creator and creation. Yet, Babel is not only punishment, it is also transformation. True strength may not lie in monolithic unity, but in resilient diversity. The story challenges us to find unity differently, build bridges, not towers, Respect each other's differences. The fall of the tower was not the end of the story. Humanity continues to build towers of Babel today. Each of us carries a small piece of Babel within. It is that voice of ego that tells us our way is the only way. When we refuse to listen to those who are different, we are rebuilding the walls of Babel in our own communities and in our own minds. The solution to the problem of Babel is not to magically restore a single language, but to undertake the much harder work of translation, not just of words, but of hearts and minds. A harmony built not on forced uniformity, but on a celebration of our many voices, singing together in a complex, but ultimately beautiful, global choir. The story is not over. We are writing the next chapter every single day.